Welcome to my 2021 Holiday Card Series. You can find the link to the reference material associated with this video by clicking on the project page link in the description. We're ready to begin this Christmas card. Right now you're looking at the template. This is 5 by 7 inches, just like all my Christmas cards. And it's a little scene with some kind of Christmas trees on the hillsides with a little snowman over here. Not a lot of detail or anything on a snowman, just very simple shape. And the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to use some masking fluid. I'm going to splatter it on the card to create the feeling of snow just blowing around. I want this just to kind of be a snowy scene. And like I said, this is the template, and I've drawn that lightly on my cardstock. So this is a Christmas card, a blank Christmas card that I'm painting on, and it's hard to see this on the camera, but I've lightly drawn the sketch in from the template. So to begin, what I'm going to do is I'm going to splatter this masking fluid. I have a jar. You can squeeze it out of a bottle, however you want to do that. And you don't even have to have this. You don't even have to use this if you don't want. If you don't have masking fluid, you can paint it without, certainly. But I like the kind of snowy effect. I'm using a toothbrush that I've put some soapy water in first. It helps it clean up. And all I'm going to do is dip this in the jar, and I'm going to splatter it by pulling back the bristles. And I'm also going to tap it on my hand to create a splatter. Tapping it on my hand will create a bigger drops than pulling back the bristles and splattering it. So I'm just gonna dip my my toothbrush in there, take a little bit of that excess off, and I'm just gonna splatter it around a little bit and tap it. And this will just give me the effect of a snowy day. And you can do as much of this as you want. Do a little bit, do a lot. I like to try and get a variety of those drops. So I'm going to try and tap here and get a few bigger drops. And that's probably enough. And now what I do is I let that air dry, and then I'll begin to paint. All right, we're ready to start on this card. We're going to begin painting it. The masking, the splatter on it has dried. And again, this is the template. This is what I'll be painting. So my drawing's fairly light, so it's not that easy to see. And I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to start with a background. I'm going to turn this upside down because I'm going to have it darker towards the kind of the horizon and get a little lighter as it goes up in the sky. I'm going to start with some cobalt blue. See, cobalt blue. I'm going to take a little raw sienna just to adjust my blue a little bit. I want to just kind of neutralizes it a little bit, grays it out a little, not much. And now I'm going to just start to paint right along the kind of the horizon line here. There's a few trees I'm going to paint in there, but I'm just going to paint over the blue wash. And I drew those tree shapes in, just kind of approximation. You can paint in the shapes you want to paint them. Bring that blue in a little bit so I make sure I get to the edge. Not quite what I wanted there. Get it to the edge of the trees after I paint those. I don't have any white areas. Paint around the snowman. I'm going to add some water. I want to get an edge setting up here. Just soften that, lighten it as it comes down. Just a little bit darker. Actually, this is still very wet, so I can drop in just a little bit darker value without any problems. So this is kind of my sky wash that I put in, and let's see, I actually need to go up all the way here. I didn't go up all the way, I just realized. So we'll put this in. And now I'm going to dry it. And then I'll turn it back over. So that's dry. I'll flip that over. And see a few spots where I probably want to get a little of that blue. Now I'm going to take this wash, bring it down here, just to put some of this in shadow. Just a little darker. And I want to get this area here. And I'm going to put a light wash here, some water. Take up the excess water where I see it, excess moisture. All right, now I'm going to dry this again. So that's dry. And now I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to paint these Christmas bulbs that are on here. I'm going to paint them a kind of a bright red. Pick one of these reds. It doesn't really matter what red you use. But I'm going to paint these because I have a tendency to paint over the area, and then I won't be able to get the nice bright red that I want. I want to put this on the white of the paper so it'll be nice and bright. While that's wet, I'm going to just put a touch of a dark value on. And paint these here. All right, let me dry those. So that's all dry. And I'm going to clean my palette. And next, I'm gonna mix some greens, and I'm just using a number 6 round brush. I'm using sap green, and I'm gonna add a little pyro red to it. That helps make it a more natural green. I'm gonna take some of my royal blue to darken a little of that. And I think I'm gonna paint that using my quill brush. I like to try and get a little bit of a broken edge, and this paper doesn't do it, but a little harder to do. So paint around these bulbs. At the same time, just kind of drag in the branches. Now I got this second tree here to paint. Try and get around the bulb there. It's a small shape. So these two kind of come together and start to form more one shape. So there we have our Christmas tree there, little pine trees with ornaments on it. I've got another one here. Just dragging the side of my brush to try and create those shapes. I'll take that off the page there. And then I have just a small tree here. That goes over the edge, and another one. So I'm going to take a little bit of this cobalt blue again, and a little raw sienna. I actually need to change my brush. I've got some green in that I don't really want in there. So let's get some fresh cobalt blue. A little of this. And what I'm going to do is just, you know, put a little bit of a shadow on the snowman. And let me dry this. So I'm going to take a little burnt orange, or I'll just take raw sienna, or burnt sienna, work just fine. And I'll take a little ultramarine blue. And I just want just a dark tone to put here on the snowman, and get a little more burnt sienna. And I'm going to use my liner brush just to give me just a fine line. And I might just use a little bit of line on that snowman. So I want to dry this once again. I might actually go just a little darker right here on this snowman. Alright, now I'm going to dry it. So that's dry. And now what I want to do is I want to remove the masking fluid. So I'm taking this pickup eraser. Rub my hand over it just in case I left any. Rub it off. So now we have that feeling of snow. So I'm going to take this tape off. Take it off carefully because this cardstock here has a tendency to want to lift up with the tape, at least the tape I'm using. So I'm trying to pull away so I can and pull slowly so I keep a nice edge on that. Alright, so that tape's off. So here's you can see again, this is a card, so this is cardstock, and just a little snow scene with some trees and a snowman, a little snow falling. So I hope you enjoyed this and have fun painting it.